Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Bar TV's coverage of Newcastle District Cricket's T20 competition. We're here at Passmore Oval today for Ham-Wicks match against Charlestown. And joining me in the commentary box today is Murray Christie. G'day, Murray.
G'day, Josh. Glad to be here, mate.
Yeah, thanks for coming on board today, mate. What sort of match are you expecting from these two sides?
It'd be difficult to rule out Charlestown, but I think Ham-Wicks really have a lot of firepower, and I think the toss was important for them. Winning the toss and electing to bat, they can post a good total. I did have the benefit of having a look at the wicket or the pitch just prior to the players going out on the ground, and it looks like a belter. I would say par would be at least 160.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Just see Parth Shah coming in for a little warm-up for the first over of the day, and at the crease for Ham-Wicks is Shane Hughes, and at the non-strikers end is Callum Single. But I guess before we go on it, before we start, we probably should have a talk about, of course, Phil Hughes. It's been an awful week for cricket throughout the world, really. And here in Newcastle yesterday, I got out to a few games, and it was good to see plenty of clubs putting their bats out and holding a minute's silence, and really commemorating what was a wonderful career and a wonderful person.
Absolutely, Josh. It truly is unbelievable how much this has rocked the world. Not just the cricketing fraternity in Australia, but the whole world, and the messages that were sent even from soccer clubs like Arsenal and the well-wishing and all that. It's just been absolutely unbelievable. A sad, tragic, freakish accident, but it really has knocked everyone for six.
Of course, there was talk earlier in the week that this weekend of cricket might have been suspended, but the decision was made after the Hughes family said they wanted the cricket to continue to play on. And good to see we're here now on today, and for the second ball of the match, and we're playing on. And great first shot there by Hughes. He's gone over the top, and it's just going to creep into the fence for the first four and the first runs of this match.
This is where I can see Ham-Wicks building the ascendancy. Shane Hughes is a good clean hitter of the ball. He likes to accumulate his runs fairly rapidly. And on a wicket like this, I don't see why he wouldn't continue that.
Yeah, normally Ben Balcombe opens the batting for Ham-Wicks as well, but he's away on schoolies at the moment. So if you're watching up there, Ben, have a good time. Stay safe. Don't do what I wouldn't do.
Seems to be good carry going through to the keeper as well, Josh. There's a good covering of grass on the wicket. There's a couple of little bare patches, but I think bat is going to dominate ball today.
Well, of course, Sam Webber took 10 wickets yesterday for Ham-Wicks in their outright victory over Newcastle City. So, well, a little one-handed pull shot there from Hughes for the second boundary, going down to backward square leg. Ham-Wicks now moved to none for 8.
Ham-Wicks should be fairly fresh going into today's game. Admittedly, they did a reasonable amount of bowling, but they also had a quick bat in the middle of yesterday's 90 overs. You don't see that very often, that a first-grade team can win outright after one day, but they've got the weekend to put their feet up and enjoy themselves.
Just take a single there, Shane Hughes. Moves the score along to none for 9 for Ham-Wicks.
I guess conversely, Charlestown would have needed a fairly good warm-up after they were in the field all day yesterday. I believe the side that they played against compiled, I think, was it Merriweather? Compiled 300.
That's right, yeah. Troy Goodwin, 130 for the Lions.
Back after a year's rest.
Yeah, that's right. First sort of big score since he's made his return. So, old Goody still got plenty of runs in him.
Good bloke too.
And that's the end of the first over. Ham-Wicks, none for 9. Few storm clouds over the back here today, coming from some of the southwest, but at the moment looks like we should get through a full day's play, I'd say.
Wind coming from the northeast makes for a nice, pleasant afternoon, Josh.
Now looks like Max McGann bowling at the other end for Charlestown from the northern end of Passmore Oval. Pretty handy little left arm seamer. Certainly can swing the ball away from the left-handed batsman. That's what he'll be trying to do today, I'm sure.
It's always advantageous for the left-arm bowler to move the ball away from the left-handed batsman, and I dare say Shane Hughes will need to watch fairly closely. Otherwise, he may give Slips and Gully a bit of a workout. Shane Hughes hasn't taken too much time to have a look at Max McGann. He's hit the first ball of the over for 6. You don't see that very often, but clearly Shane's seeing the ball particularly well.
Plays it away to point there, but no run. Ham-Wicks still none for 15. Yeah, he's looked good so far, hasn't he, Shane Hughes? He's played a couple of different shots and sort of nailed all of them. So he's looking like his eyes is certainly in today.
No, certainly, and if he could build a hefty early total, it sets the scene for players like Matt Webber, Sam Webber. A little bit excited there is Shane, but he's still got 2 for it.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to hook it sort of here down the ground, but got a little bit of an inside edge and still gets 2. It's a fairly big ground Passmore Oval. There's plenty of runs out there to be had.
Generally found that the ball does run a long way towards the grandstand side. You'll notice that there's a lot of dry grass there, and it tends to be more lush on the other side, the side heading towards Carrington.
He's going big again here, Shane Hughes. And it goes all the way. The first 6 of today. Great cracking shot. Oh, second, sorry. But, yeah, fantastic hitting from Shane Hughes. He's hit that straight out of the middle and right over the top of the bowlers and the umpire's head.
He really does look comfortable today, Shane, and it wouldn't surprise me to see a few more of these come from his bat.
He's already raced the 23 runs now, and only the second over the match. He's gone again. Oh, fantastic catch.
Great catch.
Watching that live, I thought he was going to pull out there and let it bounce, but the last minute he's taken it.
Not easy catches, those, Josh. Running in's probably a tad easier than having to run back and catch a cricket ball, but I agree. I thought he was going to misjudge that and the ball was going to bounce innocently, but he's got there at the last minute, and Shane Hughes, after a promising first 10 balls, now departs.
Well, that's T20 cricket for you, isn't it? I mean, it's all about taking risks, and they were coming off initially for Hughes, but then he probably tried one too many, but good work by Charlestown. They certainly needed him to get his wicket early, didn't they? Because the way he was looking, the way he was striking the ball was going to become a pretty long afternoon.
Absolutely, and given the firepower that Ham-Wicks have, wickets in hand going into the final 10 overs, it could have been anything, and still could be.
See Matthew Webber, the new batsman at the crease for Ham-Wicks.
Matthew has plenty of experience playing first grade now for a number of years. Both he and his brother Sam have given tremendous service to the Hamilton Wickham Club. Nice delivery there by Max McGann to finish the over.
I
think you find Matt is trying to make people think that he's let that ball go. I don't think that's the case, actually. I think he's just missed it.
Excuse my apologies there. Looks like it's actually Josh Trappel in the number 6, not Matt Webber. We've given the wrong numbers at the start of the match, but no, it's the Ham-Wicks captain, Josh Trappel, there with a new mo. I haven't seen that before.
Well, if it's Movember, it comes off tomorrow.
Well, look at it. I think it's about time it came off too. First ball, Josh Trappel, Gorman just uppishly played there to cover, and yeah, very poor shot. He won't be happy with that at all, but looked like a slow ball there from Parth Shah.
It did, and I think Josh was through his shot, just obviously at the point of impact. He tried to check his shot, but it was all too late and spooned it straight to cover. The vital wicket there for Charlestown, though. To have Ham-Wicks 2 for 23. Obviously, Shane Hughes has got the side off to a reasonable start, but they've pulled them back by getting those 2 quick ones.
Yeah, Josh Trappel's been in good form too of late, so it's certainly an important wicket. Ham-Wicks now 2 for 23 at the up to 3.1 overs. Sorry, 2.1 overs I should say, but we're in the 3rd over now. But after a good start, Ham-Wicks have really started to come back here. Some good bowling from Charlestown.
This next couple of overs, Josh, will be very interesting to see if Ham-Wicks continue to build the ascendancy and go on the attack, or whether they take a little bit of stock to maintain their wickets. As Sam Webber comes to the crease.
Yeah, it's certainly Sam. You can see that casual swagger. It's certainly unique to Newcastle cricket. But, yeah, I think Ham-Wicks would probably be disappointed to have him in so early. That he's sort of like their X factor in T20 cricket. They would have liked to have seen him in the 8th or 9th over when he can really sort of go for it. But here he might have to be a little bit more measured in his approach.
Don't be surprised if he tries to hit the first one for 6, though.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
When Sam first came into first grade, it was about the late 90s, early 2000s, and he won Ham-Wicks a couple of finals when it looked like all was dead and buried, and he managed to get the pressure wicket. I remember he bowled a maiden over in a Tom Locker Cup final to win the side for Ham-Wicks against Merewether.
Just flick that off his pads there, a little bit uppishly, but he'll come back for the second with Sam Webber off the mark with the 2.
Mate of mine, Darren Herbert, who was captain of Ham-Wicks in the later years, told, I think it was Neil Goffett at the time, that Sam has this uncanny knack of when the pressure situation is on, that he could slow his heart rate down to 36 or 37. Darren's a bit of a different character, so I don't know whether that was quite true, but he was fairly adamant.
Big appeal there from the Magpies, but umpire says not out, but maybe pitching outside the line there.
Also looked a tad high, I think.
Pull shot there from Sam Webber, and he's a couple of bounces into the boundary. You can't bowl short at all to Sam Webber, especially the way. 6, sorry. Obviously they've shortened the boundary there on that side of the field a little bit, but yeah, you certainly can't bowl short at all to Sam Webber. He'll hoik you over the fence every time, won't he?
Well, there's no man down there, and he's got the benefit of the breeze that's blowing from the east. And all he did was help it on its way.
certainly the shortest boundary too here at Passport Oval on the western side. Good comeback there from Shah. Nice appeal. That's probably where he needs to get it a little bit fuller.
Most certainly, and that looked a lot closer than the previous LBW appeal. Pat Shah's been around in first grade now for a number of years, and can almost all consider him an experienced hand.
If you look at the Charlestown sort of bowling attack with Max McGann and Chris Connors, you'd probably have to say he is the most experienced bowler in their attack at the moment.
I would imagine so. Chris Connors is about to start bowling now, and Chris he comes off a lot of wickets, a number of wickets over the last few weeks, and I believe Michael Hill was quoted in the newspaper saying some positive things about Chris's bowling and his potential as well.
Yeah, I haven't got the stats in front of me, but I believe it's something like 17 or 18 wickets he's taken for the season so far, and it got him a late call up into the New South Wales Country Championship side for Newcastle, and probably didn't take the wickets he would have wanted up in Ballina, but I think he'll certainly come back, with a lot of confidence, won't he, after playing with the likes of Simon Moore and Mark Littlewood and those sort of guys, and I'm sure he would have learnt plenty from that trip up to the North Coast.
He would have taken a lot away from that trip, which turned out to be very successful. Jeff Ganninan scored 1 million runs while he's up there.
Ooh, full of ball there and missed by single.
Taking the pace off a little too, I think, and that's really the secret of T20 bowling, is to vary the pace of your bowling, perhaps even vary the crease as you approach the wicket as well.
Of course, I've seen the advent of the slower ball bouncer in T20 cricket, one of the more different deliveries.
Very skillful indeed.
Yeah. Umpire's calling leg by there. Ham-Wicks will move to 2 for 32.
And Charlestown's put the brakes on this last couple of overs because of those 2 early wickets. Admittedly, Sam Webber's just hit a ball for 6 just an over before, but other than that, they've not really accumulated too many runs in the last couple of overs.
Certainly remains true of any form of cricket, really. If you take wickets, you do slow down the run rate. So it's important today that Charlestown keep taking these wickets, especially this wicket of Sam Webber. It'll be key, I think.
He really does have a laid-back nature at the crease, doesn't he?
So he was on NBN News this week making coffees as well. So he's a barista as well, Sam Webber.
And does a lot of work helping kids with special needs, which is quite admirable.
A mix up here, have a shot at the stumps. Might have been in trouble there, Callum single if that had hit. A bit hard to see from this end, but yeah, certainly looked tight. And
my money's on gone.
No run there with a little push to mid-on.
Terrific first over there from Connors as well. He's really put the brakes on.
Yeah, we're now Ham-Wicks 2 for 32 after 4 overs. So after what was a blazing start, they've really had the brakes put on.
Anthony Payne measuring out his run out. Payne's been around forever as well. Makes me feel young again.
Yeah, been a few big changes in this Charlestown side this year. Of course, Steve Mace, for the first time in I think well over a decade, he's not leading the side. He has retired, and Dane McCourt, now the skipper. I was only talking to Steve a couple of days ago, and he admitted he's got the itchy feet back home, and you might see him in an occasional game later in the year. Not sure if his wife knows about that, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if he dons the pads before the end of the summer.
Yeah, Sue's been a tremendous sport over the years. Steve's played a lot of cricket, both for Newcastle, New South Wales country, as well as giving tremendous service to Charlestown. I guess it doesn't surprise me he's got those itchy feet.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't quite short enough to pull their single, but may have missed a chance to score some runs. But yeah, pressure starting to mount here on Ham-Wicks. You're going to want to get this score rate ticking over again. Another dot ball there for Charlestown.
This is a key part of the match, Josh. If Charlestown can keep the brakes on for another couple of overs, it makes things very, very interesting.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Mark Cameron during the Newcastle's team's sort of Sydney grade cricket T20 campaign. He was saying that they felt that the important part in T20 cricket was those overs 6 to 8, and also then later at the death again. But he said that those 6 to 8 were vital in building big totals, be it taking wickets with the ball, scoring plenty of runs with the bat. They were the overs that they'd really had earmarked as being essential for victories.
Absolutely, and getting off to a solid start. I mean, I think the Ham-Wicks batsmen at the moment could be well advised to just work the ball around, get bat to ball, work a couple of 1s and 2s. The outfield is as it is. There's plenty of runs around.
A single there to single. Takes the score to 2 for 33. But I think you're absolutely right. I mean, there's been a lot of boundaries so far from Ham-Wicks, but until then we haven't seen a great deal of just working the ball around for making singles and probably picking up a couple of 2s. So I think that's where they really need to step that up now in these next couple of overs and maybe build up a bit of a total before they can start unleashing in the later overs.
Well, as you said before, Josh, it's a big ground, and 1s and 2s and 3s even can be picked up without too much difficulty at all.
Bit of bat first there, I think. Might have been close otherwise.
Tied over there for Charlestown. Anthony Payne, it's a good start for him.
It's 2 for 33 for Ham-Wicks after 5 overs. See Chris Connors again coming on for his second over at the northern end or the harbour end of Passmore Oval. But certainly one of the better hairdos in the Newcastle District Cricket, Chris Connors.
And got the DK Lilly headband too. How can he not do well?
Wide signal there by the umpire, just straying down leg side, which is of course a no-no in T20 cricket.
First wide of the day though, in the 6th over.
Yeah, they're not the fastest bowling attack in the competition by a long stretch, Charlestown, but they are a bit of variety and pretty solid bowling unit. Playing the miss there from Single. He's really struggling to get off the mark, I think, the young fella, and probably needs to start rotating the strike and trying to get Sam Webber on strike, because they're starting to lose some vital overs here.
Yeah, very key to work a few 1s, 2s, get up the other end, build your confidence from there.
Slower ball there from Chris Connors. Looked like he ran the fingers over it then. Little off cutter.
His first over and a half has been very, very good.
Second wide for the over. I'll move Ham-Wicks to 2 for 35. But, not many runs coming off the bat at the moment, but certainly Charlestown side will be disappointed to be allowing easy sundries away.
A key fielding change here where deep mid-wicket has been moved up and deep backward square back to the boundary.
Well, it was a pretty disappointing cricket all around, wasn't it? Attempted bounce that really didn't bounce, and
five wides as it turns out.
Of course, Charlestown without their preferred keeping option at the moment. We'll just talk about that after this ball. Nice solid punch down the field there from single. It'll only pick up a 1. Straight to the fielder there on the mid-off boundary. But yeah, of course, missing their English import wicketkeeper Callum Jackson, who of course got tied up in immigration maybe about 3 weeks ago. But they tell me they're hopeful that he'll be here in the new year.
My thoughts go out to him to have to endure a 24-hour flight and then get put back on a plane and go straight home. It'd be a little bit much for me.
Ooh, just short there of the fielder. Sam Webber picks up a single. Yeah, well...
that would have been a key dismissal as well, Josh.
And, yeah, having to spend a night in Villawood Detention Centre, I mean, that must be horrifying. I mean, sort of, you don't expect, do you, sort of, to hear cricketers or just English tourists to end up in those sort of facilities, but... tight single there for Callum single, and Ham-Wicks will move to 2 for 43 after 6 overs.
Josh, I'm interested to find out more about the T20 competition that's going to be run over the Christmas New Year period.
Well, it's not an actual separate competition. It'll be just one whole round of this competition we're watching today. They're going to play a whole round over a 2-week period. I believe it's going to be the first 2 weeks of January. All games will be at number 1 Sports Ground at twilight time. I think at a 5 o'clock start. So we'll have the lights on there, and from my understanding, all matches will be broadcast on Bar TV. So, and every club will have an opportunity to play in those games. So that should be fantastic, and hopefully we'll get a lot of people down, because I think it's a twilight cricket, something that Newcastle really needs. It's had a lot of success in some country areas, and should be great to have it here. Paying an appeal there, but ball went away to third man, and I'll pick up a leg by.
Yeah, I agree, Josh. It and played on such a wonderful ground. Obviously, the amenities, the Cricket New South Wales Association don't feel are up to scratch, but the ground itself is it's certainly up to first class standard, and I think it's great for the teams to be playing there under the lights with the white ball. And certainly 5 o'clock starts. People can come from work, have a look, have a quick refreshment, watch a bit of cricket, and move on.
Payne bowling in to Sam Webber. He charges and doesn't quite get hold of it. Punches it down to Connors there on the deep mid-wicket boundary. Let's pick up a single there, Ham-Wicks.
Callum single holds the key here, though. That he needs to work the ball around, get up the other end. Watch Sam Webber make batting look easier than what it actually is. And work there with his partner. One thing I will say, though, is when he does punch the ball, he certainly gives it some hurry up.
He certainly looks strongest down the ground, doesn't he, today? Most of his scoring shots have come through sort of uppish or drives. I
think that's where he needs to focus as well. He's played a couple of cross-bat shots, but I think he needs to stick with his strength.
Oh, and Webber's got hold of this one. That's clear the boundary. Clears the boundary by probably 5-6 metres. He loves cow corner, Sam Webber, and he'll hit them over the fence every time. But that's certainly what Ham-Wicks needed. They'll move to 2 for 52.
And amazingly, he just leant on that. It didn't look like he was hitting the ball very far at all, and yet it would have cleared the boundary fence by a good 10 metres.
Yeah, there's probably only number one sports ground possibly in this competition that may have not been cleared by that shot. That was, very sweet timing from Sam Webber. Of course, yesterday, as we were speaking earlier, he decimated Newcastle City with 2 5-wicket hauls to defeat them outright in a day. So now he's letting his batting do the talking. So very talented all-round cricketer.
And I talked about Ham-Wicks having the weekend off to freshen up. I guess Newcastle City are in the same boat.
And he's hoiked that, and it's taken a big edge, and he'll fly away to the boundary, but over the top of the slip cordon. Certainly not where he wanted that to go, but that's still 4 runs nonetheless.
I guess you get plenty of, you have a big enough swing and you get enough bat on it, it can fly away. I note now that they've moved the short third man back to the boundary.
Probably not a bad fielding change, placement change actually, with the way that Sam does play. Punch that away for a single there, down to the deep mid-wicket boundary. Takes Ham-Wicks to 2 for 56, and pretty good over there for Ham-Wicks. Sorry, 2 for 57. He's looks like Sam Webb's calling for another bat here. Not sure if he's done something to his bat on that last ball.
Might want to hit the ball further. But Ham-Wicks have really taken stock here. Although singles for Callum Single and ones and twos have been difficult to come by, they certainly have built their total up at 2 for 57. They're going at 8 and over. If we're talking about par being 160, they're on the money.
Chris Connors back on. Nice little sort of Yorker there to Webber. But still I think the key is, isn't it, just a single, just keep knocking around the ones and give Sam Webber all the strike he can manage.
This is Chris Connors' third over. It'll be interesting to see if they actually look to bowl Chris out, or whether they keep an over up their sleeve for the money overs at the end. Yeah,
for me, he's definitely been the best of the Charlestown bowlers today. He's just, other than those couple of wides, he's really been on the money every ball, and he's keeping it full too. He's not allowing Sam Webber to sort of get underneath the bowling like Payne did last over. So I think that's really the key. Keep it full, and you take a lot of Webber's shots out of the mix then,
and mix up the pace.
Another slower ball there from Connors, and knocked away for no run.
Classic example of the bowler mixing up his pace and difficult to get away. But he has bowled a good full line and length. Made it difficult for the batsman to accumulate runs.
Oh, he's nearly chopped that on, and it's going to run away and should get 2 here, single. Bit of bad luck there for Connors. It was good delivery, and he seemed to come in a little bit into single and got him a little bit cramped for room.
Callum is starting to free the arms up though, and he's actually doing a good job by just being out there batting with Sam Webber.
Another slower ball by Connors, but it was confidently hit by single down the ground for a 1.
He does hit that ball well. Wouldn't like to be fielding at short cover. Might be a bit nervous.
No, he looks a very strong driver of the ball.
That is a blow.
Well, I think that's probably the best shot of the day. He's just blasted that over the top of cover. Just didn't even look like he hit it that hard, did he, at all? It was just more of a flick, and it's just flown off the blade and onto the top of the Ham-Wicks canteen.
I hope it was the top of the Ham-Wicks canteen, because there's a couple of cars parked behind the canteen, and I hope that he hasn't given one of them a touch-up. But you're right, he just landed on that ball. He's got the benefit of the wind, the slightly shorter boundary, but that was a mighty heave.
Well, we called for the another bat last over, but well, look at it. There's nothing wrong with that one.
I think it's going okay.
But yeah, driving in today, I made sure I parked outside the ground. I know from experience that you don't really park close in Passmore Oval, especially when the Webbers are playing.
I parked right behind the grandstand, and they'll be doing well to hit my car, but with Sam Webber out there, anything's possible.
But that takes Ham-Wicks now to 2 for 67.
And the runs are starting to build now.
Coming on now is the Sri Lankan import for Charlestown, Roscoe Thatil. Hope I pronounced that correctly. But yeah, I haven't seen him live yet, but they tell me he's got some pretty difficult deliveries to pick up. I know talking to a couple of Merriweather boys from yesterday saying that they had a lot of trouble picking a lot of his deliveries. So he's taken a few wickets too in Newcastle cricket, so I'll be keen to see him bowl.
And this is where there's a lot of expert opinion saying that T20 is going to spell the end of spin bowlers. And to be honest with you, Josh, I tend to disagree. I think spin bowlers have a key role. Good spinners and 5 or 6 tight overs from slow bowling can actually win matches.
Well, of course, you see a lot of Big Bash and international sides now opening the bowling with a spinner. So it certainly probably surprised a lot of people how good they have been.
And it's an interesting ploy in terms of fast bowlers charge in, bowl as quick as they can, which basically means they can get hit further where they're taking the pace off the ball.
Nice bit of flight there from Thatil to start, bowling around the wicket for a right arm off spinner. He's got hold of that one, but one bounce to the fielder on the deep mid off boundary. But not a bad start from the young Sri Lankan. Of course, last year Charlestown had Dilan Sankragoa. I know how to spell it, don't know how to say it. but anyway, yeah, he was an opening batsman and was very aggressive, but probably never really kicked on in Newcastle cricket after a couple of good starts. But they tell me that Roscoe was really impressed so far.
They did have a good season last year, getting to the semi-final before they went down against Merriweather, but they put up a good fight.
Quicker ball there from Thatil, and not a bad shout either.
He got very excited, very confident that the ball was hitting the stumps. Unfortunately, the umpire didn't feel the same way.
Yeah, he's mixing up his pace very nicely so far, Thatil, which is good to see. I mean, of course, as a spinner, you need to be able to mix it up, and he's providing a bit of flight too, which is good to see. Ooh.
He's certainly enticing the batsman to go after him with that, and he is bowling with very nice flight.
Yeah, interesting to see with his action there. His arm speed is dramatically quicker than the actual delivery of the ball. I mean, he's really, which I imagine would be quite hard to pick up as a batsman. So, it's
looks like he gives the ball a good rip as well. Good first over, though. Only 3 off it.
Yeah, Ham-Wicks now moved 2 for 70 after 9 overs. So I think they'll be pretty happy with their start at the moment, Ham-Wicks, but there's plenty of room to push on now in these final 11 overs, especially with Webber still at the crease, and plenty of batting still to come too for Ham-Wicks.
Indeed, I can only assume that Matt Webber will be next, and he likes to give the ball a touch up as well. One name missing from the lineup, though, is Kirk Mullard.
Yeah, Kurt retired after last year's 2-day final. What's some big wide there to start off?
Because let me tell you, there's a batsman that could hit the ball a long way. Big, solid-built right-hand batsman.
Got Isaac Wallace now on for Charlestown. Yeah, another bit of a long hop. Certainly a loosener, and you can't afford too many of them in T20 cricket, so he's going to have to get on the spot quickly. Wallace will face being taken off. And that's 6 for single, but in all honesty, you can't bowl a long hop like that in first grade cricket in Newcastle and not expect to be smacked over the fence, and that ball certainly got what it deserved.
And Callum played it well. He didn't try to hit the ball too hard, just leant on the ball. And let the breeze and the timing do the rest.
That's much better ball there from Wallace. Got that flighted that ball up a little bit and gave a rip, but yeah, certainly it's a tough ask as in a bowling leg spin in T20 cricket. You really don't have much margin for error.
Certainly no warm-up balls.
Yeah, nicely played there from Single. Nice little late cut. He was thinking about coming back for a third, but he sent Sam Webber back, and Ham-Wicks now moved to 2 for 80.
That was actually a nicely flighted delivery as well. Callum Single has played that well.
And he's gone under this one. And caught on the boundary. Fantastic catch.
Good cricket all round, really. It was a well-flighted delivery. Callum Single timed the ball particularly well.
Way it sounded off the bat. Didn't sound like it was going all the way over the fence, but...
Yeah, to the naked eye, it looked like it was actually going to clear the sight screen, and deep mid-on has run around probably about 10 metres and taken a tidy catch. Yeah,
you would have had to move a good 10 metres there, going sideways all the way. They're certainly difficult catches to take, but fantastic effort, and that... A big wicket there for Charlestown, because Single was really starting to look like, after a bit of a slow start, was really finding his touch, and he's now back in the pavilion, and Ham-Wicks are 3 for 80.
And if you have a look, that's the practice square area right down the end of the ground, and you'll see a slight incline as deep mid-on was running sort of towards that area. It wouldn't have been easy at all.
Got Reece Hanlon's a new batsman at the crease, coming out for the fall of last wicket. So yeah, he's been scoring some runs too of late. Only a young guy, a couple of years into first grade, but showing plenty of potential. Yeah, after a bit of a shaky start, a poor start, in all honesty, Isaac Wallace is looking pretty good this over.
He's really put the brakes on. He's perhaps you could put the first couple down to nerves.
He's dropped short there, and Sam Webber's just helped that along down to the deep fine leg boundary. But, just as we were giving him a wrap, he's dropped it short again, and Webber just had to help that it's on its way and go with the spin. And
it's also difficult with the left-hand, right-hand combination as well. Isaac Wallace is trying to find his feet in his first over. Obviously, started poorly. That's not going to make him feel any better. All of a sudden, he's back on track and then finds himself bowling to a left-hander. Not very easy in your first over. But as you said earlier, Josh, there's no time for warm-up deliveries.
What do you make of the decision here at the moment to bowl the two spinners in tandem? Do you think that's the right move from the captain?
I think Dane McCourt is trying to slow the bowling down. I think he feels that the quicks are coming onto the bat too well. Not a bad ploy, provided that both spinners are able to land the ball in the right areas.
That was Hanlon getting off the mark there with a single down the ground off the till. Nicely flighted there again from the Sri Lankan, and just picks up a leg by there, Ham-Wicks, and they'll move to 3 for 86. But I've certainly been impressed by his variation in flight and speed. It's quite hard to pick up. Again, lovely bit of flight there. Just dropping just a bit shorter than the batsman first thought.
And interestingly enough, every ball of these, of the 4 balls this over, every single ball has been flighted differently.
Yeah, they haven't been able to score any runs. I mean, there's been two leg buys, but nothing off the bat for this over, so it's been good bowling. Ooh. But as we say that, great shot again from Sam Webber. He's hoiked that, and into the grandstand, and just marginally missing a young child up there too. So it's pace to watch when Sam Webber's at the crease.
Absolutely. And Sam, once again, has hit that very, very well. It actually wasn't a bad delivery.
Just hit that away for a single. But good over there from Tatil. Only really the one ball going over the fence. But as you just said, Murray, not a bad ball either. So yeah, good over. And Ham-Wicks now moved to 3 for 94.
That was a terrific over, and unfortunately for Tatil, he's gone for 10. You wouldn't credit it.
The bowling change at the northern end of the field with Isaac Wallace giving way, and by the look of it, looks like Max McGann's coming back on.
I think he's only bowled 1 over previously, so he's still got plenty in the bag. And for memory, I think they've kept Chris Connors for 1 over at the end as well.
Yeah, at this stage, so I certainly think that Chris Connors will be the best option for Charlestown in that 20th over. He's certainly been the best bowler today, maybe along with also the Sri Lankan off spinner. He's also been very impressive with his changes of flight and pace.
You could probably narrow it down to 3, Josh. I think I agree. Connors, Tatil, and possibly Anthony Payne to finish off. He's got plenty of variety in his medium paces and can vary his pace.
Again, coming into Webber. Oh, and a late cut. Well, he's played some beautiful probably more T20 style shots today. But as far as class cricket shots, I think it's been one of the best. Just a beautiful late cut and just helped it on its way.
Possibly a little too much width from Max McGann. I'm not quite sure why there's no third man in place, though, to be honest with you, at this stage of the game. And as I speak, short third man's been moved back.
Yeah, certainly the way with way Webber likes to play. With he's certainly prone to edging the ball, and it can fly down to third man, and there might be a catching opportunity, but also have a guy there to cut off that late cut. Full toss, and he's blasted through the covers, but straight to the fielder. Pretty lucky there, Max McGann. It was a poor ball, but
he did it straight to the fielder, because if he hit it 4 or 5 metres either side, with the power of the shot, I'm not sure he would have got there.
No, he certainly struck with that with some venom. Ham-Wicks moved to 3 for 99. So I think at the moment, if they can keep going on this rate, you might be looking at maybe a 180.
Indeed. We talked about 160, but yeah, I agree.
We'll knock that down the ground.
I think the key for the
Ham-Wicks... Hanlon.
Sorry, Josh. I think the key for the Ham-Wicks batsman is to bat with Sam Webber. If they're going to be talking about 180, 190, I think Sam Webber needs to drive the innings right through to the end, and the batsmen just need to be there to support him.
So a bunt down the ground from Sam Webber, pick up another single, and it brings up the 100 for Ham-Wicks. Also 101. Yeah, not quite at full strength either today, Ham-Wicks. I mean, as we said, Ben Balcom's away, and also Mark Dries is away at a wedding, I believe.
He's very sociable, Mark Dries. I'm not surprised.
I was talking he might have been doing an Ironman as well down in Victoria, so I've seen him quite a lot hitting the pavement, running around Bar Beach in Merewether, so yeah.
In the Lycra?
No, not the times I've seen, thankfully. Well fielded there off his own bowling, Max McGann.
Yeah, Mark Dries has played a lot of first-grade cricket over the years. He's had more clubs than Jack Nicklaus, but a terrific cricketer. Probably one of the more fitter athletes that's played the game in Newcastle as well.
Yeah, very good baseballer too. He's played a lot of A-grade baseball for years for Belmont, I believe. And won a lot of premierships with them too. So and a few premierships in cricket.
Beat me in a game of pool once as well. I thought I had it in the bag.
What, snooker or pool?
Just pool, yeah. Had the black to pot to win the game. He had about 5 left and cleaned them up. Then went the early crow.
Little single there for Hanlon off Tatel, with Tatel bowling his third over of the innings.
I'm not sure they're going to finish with him, Joss.
No, but probably will bowl him out, but he's doing a job here. He's brought down the run rate. On the quicker ball there, and like Webber nearly put out a shoulder there trying to hook that over the fence, but yeah, watching him bowl today, he certainly looks like Mullery was a bit of an idol of his.
Indeed.
Sort of the same sort of action.
I'd say Muley was very popular in those neck of the woods.
I I remember going on a cricket tour to Malaysia in my teens and playing over there, and for some reason the Malaysians really adopted Sri Lanka as their sort of national team, and going to the cricket nets there, just every kid was bowling like Mullery.
Possibly giving that 15 degrees a good workout too with the arm action.
Yeah, there's a couple maybe pushing pushing 39 or more. So looks like it's the 50 there for Sam Webber. Raises his bat to his teammates in the grandstand, but yeah, fine knock. Some beautiful hitting, some nice strokes too, as we talked about before, the late cut. But yeah, some massive hits over cow corner, and that cover drive, lofted cover drive too, was amazing.
And the big issue is that it's really been the timing of his shots as well. There was one shot last over, he nearly threw his shoulders out, but prior to that, I mean, he's just landed on the ball, and the ball has travelled a long ways. He really is a good athlete. Funnily enough, he said on that news item that you were talking about before, Josh, that he's too old to play. He considers himself too old to play rep cricket, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I don't think so.
He's had a lot of back problems in the last sort of 12 months. He picked up an injury when he was playing over in England the winter before the last, and has struggled with that. I know at the start of this year he was bowling sort of at half pace due to that, but the last fortnight I've been told that he's back to bowling at full pace, and obviously yesterday's 10-wicket haul sort of attests to that. But yeah, getting back to his best and playing pain-free.
Yeah, I watched him play about a month ago at this very ground for a short while, and he did look to be labouring as he was approaching the crease when he was bowling.
Hanlon knocks that down the ground off McGann for a single.
And he really is doing the right thing here, Hanlon, because Sam Webber's the man. He's just got to get up the other end and bat with him.
Ham-Wicks now moved to 3 for 110. And yeah, a few problems here for Charlestown skipper Dan McCord. He's making a few changes to his field, but yeah, certainly needs a wicket. And Sam, there's no prizes for guessing which wicket he needs. It's certainly Sam Webber.
Could save himself about 30 or 40 runs if he does.
Just got a score from around the grounds with Cardiff 7 for 47.
Unfortunately, Sam Webber's been pinned with a full bunger there. Clearly unintentional, but still doesn't feel any better.
Umpire calling a free hit now, so he's giving Sam Webber free hits. It could get dangerous. Whacked that over sort of cow corner way, but pulled off at the boundary there by Chris Connors.
He's got to get a single. Yeah.
Got a bit of feedback there from one of our listeners, but probably a little bit too blue to be put on there.
Special mention to Kurt Banks. I hope you're enjoying the coverage. I'll take some of your advice, not all of it. Remember, we are streaming live.
Hanley's whacked it down the field and nearly a terrific catch, diving to his right, but just out of his arm's reach. And 4 runs there to Hanlon. But yeah, great effort there.
It would have been quite a catch. He covered some ground to get there and was almost going to pull off the one-hander. A fairly unsympathetic area to fall there too with the dry grass. It'd be quite hard around that neck of the woods.
That takes Ham-Wicks down to 3 for 116 in the 14th over. Full toss, and he's punched that through the covers. Jackson's coming around. He'll cut that off at the boundary. 2 runs there to Reece Hanlon.
And realistically, although Reece Hanlon's found the gap there, that's actually the area to bowl. You're far, with the field that's been set, you are far better off bowling full rather than short.
Down leg side there, again, that's a wide. So, yeah, Captain McCourt won't be happy with that at all, giving away 3 runs.
It'll be interesting to see who he bowls at this end for the next over, whether he continues with the off spinner or whether he gets one of the mediums back on. Oh. That would have been extremely interesting if he got a little bit of a fingertip on that. It would have been good night Sam Webber, I suggest.
Yeah, watching that live, it looked like he was a couple of metres out of his ground, wasn't it? But I'm
not even sure he made that big an attempt to get back in. He was that far out of his crease.
That's the end of the over, and Ham-Wicks are now 3 for 119 after 14. Looks like Roscoe Thatil will bowl his 4th over.
So we've started with a quicker ball. Let's see what he does this next ball, because it will be certainly different.
He's tossed it up, and he's got hold of that, and it'll go away to 4. Beat the fielder coming around. And that takes Ham-Wicks now to 3 for 123.
And certainly the size of the ground. There is a lot of space, and it does, even though he's got fielders out in the deep, the gaps can certainly be found.
Saw him coming there that time, Thatil, and dropped a little bit shorter, but still...
Excellent piece of fielding, that.
Fielding has been... I've been very impressed today by Charlestown all-round fielding. I mean, there's plenty of hustle in the field, some nice catches, and I can't think of too many misfields.
And the hint of desperation. In the way they've gone about it. Nicely flighted.
Hanlon knocks that away for a single there on the deep point boundary. Ham-Wicks now 3 for 125. Another quicker ball there, and it's a square drive away to the deep point boundary for a single for Webber.
I think you'll find that the flighted balls, when Sam Webber's batting, have been put in the bag for the time being. I think he's going to put... he's only got about another 1 or 2 balls to go this over, and that's the end of his spell. But he's bowled particularly well, I thought.
Well, nice shot there from Hanlon, but it's going to be cut off again. He'll get 2 runs. But, yeah, just like single, Hanlon today has looked really strong down the ground as well, hasn't he?
He has, and he's batted to his strengths and made sure that he's batted with Sam Webber. Very important.
Now 15 overs gone. Ham-Wicks 3 for 128.
So with 5 overs to go, you would like to think that they'd be aiming for anywhere between 8 and 10 and over. So I guess it's fair to say that they'd probably be a little bit disappointed if they didn't post a score of somewhere around 180.
It's like Payne coming on now from the northern end. He bowled earlier from the southern end of the field.
He started off well too, Payne.
But certainly the key here is if they can get Webber out, I mean, it's going to certainly slow down the run rate. If you can get a few wickets these dying overs, it is hard to come out and play your full bag of shots when you come out early in the innings. So if they can get some wickets, it'll certainly really tighten things up and maybe cut them back down below that 150, which at the moment is looking pretty easy. Oh. He slashed that beautifully there, Sam Webb, with plenty of pace, and it's gone straight into the fence on the full. The umpire calling a 6. So, yeah, that slash outside off stump really seems to be his strength. Any sort of width, he just goes at the ball. And
he frees up the arms and hits the ball beautifully, and taking advantage of probably the shortest part of the ground.
Yeah, good comeback there from Payne. He got a little bit tighter that time and a bit of a slower ball. But
it's clear that the Charlestown tactics are to work on an outside off stump line, judging by the fact that there's 3 blokes out in the deep on the offside.
Yeah, no run there. Straight to the fielder with the Till there at sort of a deepish cover.
Difficult situation because there was an easy one there, but obviously Sam Webber being the man that's hitting the 4s and the 6s, they've chosen to keep Sam Webber on strike.
Slashed it again and another 6. That time it clears the fence, hitting the concrete in front of the score of the grandstand, and then one bounce into the grandstand. So, again, fantastic hitting from Sam Webber.
I think Charlestown may need to review their tactic of bowling outside off stump. It allows Sam Webber to free his arms up, and those last 2 6s, he's bacon sliced them, and it's been very effective. So whether they aim to the stumps a little bit more and move another person onto the onside might be worth a try. That's missed everybody.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if he may be a little bottom edge there, but see what the umpire says. He calls buys, so it's missed everything. But lucky not to get clean bowl there, Sam Webber, and nice comeback there from Payne.
This is what makes T20 such a frustrating game for bowlers.
Yeah,
Who'd be a bowler?
Yeah, you just get belted for 2 6s, then you bowl a good ball and another 4 runs, but. And Webber will just take a single there, knocking it down the ground. Takes Ham-Wicks to 3 for 145. So this has been a great over for the home side.
Yeah, 17 off that over at a time when Ham-Wicks are really going to start to put the pressure on the fielding team. Could be looking to post a score of 200, and that would be very hard to hold out.
Yeah, I was just thinking that earlier we said maybe 180 was going to be what they were going to finish with, but after that over, you'd think that maybe 190 to 200 is certainly a possibility. And the way that Sam Webber is hitting the ball, I mean, anything's possible.
The only upside for Charlestown is with all this batting he's doing, he could be wearing himself out as a bowler. Possibly not. So Parth Shah coming back into the attack from the southern end of the field.
And don't they need a wicket?
Two or three, I think.
Maybe about 7. Oh, he's hooked this again. It's flying in the air. Well, and another crowd killer. One bouncing up into the grandstand, but a couple of kids there nearly had to run for shelter because Sam Webber's absolutely on fire.
And once again, all he did was land on that. Got the ball in the air, let the wind do the rest. And that's a better length and line for that matter. I think Charlestown need to look at on or just outside off stump coming from the Hunter Street end, hitting to the bigger part of the ground.
Oh, no, he's dropped it. Well, it would have been a good catch, but he'll come back for a second too, Sam Webber and Hanlon, but disappointing miss there. But it was a tough catch, wasn't it? It was very low and hard, but Charlestown certainly needed that wicket.
Absolutely, Josh. It was a very difficult chance. Would have been a terrific catch if held, but catches like that can potentially save your side 25, 30 runs.
Oh, he's gone again. It's even a bigger 6. It's gone over the fence and hitting a tree in the next neighbouring ground, but fantastic hitting, Sam Webber.
As I said before, who'd be a bowler? He's just bowled a terrific delivery, which nearly took a wicket, and all of a sudden the next ball goes sailing well and truly over the boundary fence for 6.
He might be eyeing off for a T20 100 here.
I'd back him in.
Better ball, but again, just knocked down the field, and another single there to Ham-Wicks as they move to 3 for 159. 3 for 160, sorry. Oh, now Hanlon's turn. He's gone over the top of cover and racing to the boundary for 4, but gave himself a little bit of room and just hoiked it over the top of cover. And great hitting. I suppose we were talking about earlier that he probably needed to rotate the strike to Webber, but he's decided, no, I'm going to score some runs too.
Well, he has rotated the strike well, but that was a terrific shot. Gave himself some room, put it over cover. Just when the bowler thinks, well, it's been a fairly ordinary over, even though I should have a wicket, only to watch the last ball go sailing over for 4.
Yeah, he might have been thinking, oh, thank God Sam Webber's off the strike. I might have a bit of a break here, but no, it didn't happen at all. But, we were talking about before that Chris Connors might have been going to bowl the 20th over, but it looks like he's bowling his 4th over now. Maybe Captain McCord has decided that he really needs to take Sam Webber's wicket, and the man to do it is Chris Connors.
Well, there's 2 overs remaining from that particular end. It will be interesting to see who bowls the last over. It's probably between Max McGann, Anthony Payne, and that's almost about it.
Well bowled there, Connors, slower ball. Been very deceptive, hasn't he, today with that slower ball? I mean, none of the batsmen seem to be able to pick it out of his hand.
And possibly could have bowled it a little bit more. That's one of the secrets to T20 cricket for a bowler. They haven't got too many weapons in their armoury, but that's certainly one of them. We'll need to bowl that one again, unfortunately.
Just a single there to Sam Webber. Ham-Wicks moved to 3 for 166.
See a lot of dark cloud over in the west, but I think it might actually sail past us, and I'd like to think we'll get the whole game in.
Oh, a great shot again from Hanlon. Gave himself some room, and he's whacked that down to the long-on boundary for 4.
He really has done a terrific job, Reece Hanlon. Supported Sam Webber really well.
Yeah, the storm might be going around the ground, but it's not abating out in the middle for Charlestown.
It's certainly a barrage at this point in time.
Didn't quite get hold of that one, and a dot ball there for Connors. But yeah, certainly by the way that both these batsmen are batting, it's certainly now they're got the foot on the pedal. He's going again down the ground, but should only get a single here. Yeah, good fielding there.
And as we said before, their ground fielding has been particularly impressive. A couple of half chances they're probably ruining at this point in time, particularly off Sam Webber. Who might know what could have happened?
But yeah, very young side, Charlestown, so very mobile in the field, and yeah, they all look all very quick across the ground. So yeah, their outfielding has been very impressive today. Be looking for 2 here, Sam Webber. No. That's the end of the over, and Ham-Wicks now 3 for 173 with 2 overs left. So at this point, Murray, you think 200 is still a chance?
Well, Sam Webber's out there. I think 220 is a chance. But so yes, to answer your question, it'll just be interesting to see how Path Shah actually comes back this over. As I mentioned before, he's a tad unlucky, and in the end he went for about 19. So let's see how he comes back. He's a tremendous competitor.
Well, that's not a good start. Wide first ball.
Didn't go for 6.
Well, see, yeah, a positive way to look at it. Oh, he smashed this one. Jeez. That is the biggest shot of the day. It's gone over the fence. That I think anyone's car might be in danger with that shot.
Almost need to put an air hostess on it.
But again, as we've been saying all day, it just doesn't look like he's hitting the ball that hard, though. It was just helping on its way. It must have tremendous strength and timing or one hell of a bat. But
or a combination of the 3. Where'd you say you parked your car, Josh?
Out in that direction.
Good luck.
Now the other side of the field, this time won't go for 6, but
there is a lot of space out that side.
Cut off there by Wallace in the deep. Another 2 there to Webber. Moves along to 3 for 181.
I think you'll find that Charlestown probably would have liked to have utilised Isaac Wallace for a couple more overs, just to take the pace off the ball, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. And there it is.
Right. Yeah, looking at that, looked like it was maybe a bump ball, but no, that's been a fine innings from Sam Webber.
a fantastic innings, and as I said before, from a fantastic athlete, he'll come out and bowl heat for his 4 allocated overs. But he really has set a tremendous platform for Ham-Wicks. So I do believe that they'll be very hard to hold out with this total.
Yeah, just the sheer hitting today was amazing, wasn't it? It was all parts of the ground. He over cow corner. He was some beautiful shots on the offside, cuts, drives down the ground. Pretty much had everything. So fine knock from Sam Webber.
Yeah, the pie graph would look very impressive, actually. Yeah. And this would be smaller twin Matt Webber coming to the crease.
Yeah, different type of player to Sam, isn't he? Not as much of a hitter, but he certainly is a class batsman and can score runs quickly if need be. So if Charlestown's thinking that things might get a little bit easier for them, they could be in a bit of trouble because he's still a very classy batsman.
Particularly given that Reece Hanlon's doing such a good job as well.
Oh, he's tried to hit that, but edged away down the third man. He'll pick up 2.
Well, Path Shah has come back very well this over. Would have been easy to drop the bundle. First ball of this over being signalled wide, but he's come back really, really well.
I think overall today hasn't been that much bad bowling from Charlestown. It's really just been some fantastic hitting from Webber. I mean, a lot of those sixes he was hitting, they weren't bad balls at all. They were decent deliveries. It's just fantastic eye and hand coordination. Oh, this is a massive shot again. Oh, we've hit the power, the light probably, maybe 10, 15 metres up. It was still going a long, long way. But
that was a tremendous blow. Once again, stepping away, freeing the arms up, and whooshka.
So yeah, he may have played the understudy for a lot of this game to Sam Webber, but Reece Hanlon has been very impressive today.
That would have been quite close. The run had to be taken at this stage of the innings.
Ham-Wicks now moved to 4 for 190. So that 200 is definitely looking within reach now with 1 over to go. We'll see Payne will bowl the final over from the northern end for Charlestown.
Anthony Payne will be looking to mix this over up, trying to take the pace off the ball as often as he can, yet at the same time looking at the field that's been set, bowling a nice full length. Just not quite sure why so many fielders are in the infield. Deep square legs move back now.
Well, dot ball to start. They'll be happy with that. Yeah, some interesting field placements here. Got the fine leg up pretty far too. I would have thought maybe be on the boundary at this point in the match, but
yeah, it's clear to me that they're going to bowl full outside off stump.
Hanlon's got a hold of that one nicely, and that'll go for 6. He's just absolutely loved anything, hasn't he? Like in front of the wicket today, just very strong down the ground and
amazingly enough, that ball, it didn't seem like that bad a ball. It was probably actually pitched on off stump. Reece Hanlon's worked the ball across to, just to the right of deep mid on. Tremendous hit.
Like that down the ground, I'll be looking for 2. And I'll come back easy.
Good running, Matt Webber.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the stats are at the end of this match as far as sixes, because I can't think of a match I've seen in recent times with as many sixes as today. At a guess, it'd have to be about 15.
It's been a healthy number.
Just whack that through. I'll pick up another 2 here. Hanlon doing the job beautifully at the moment, just getting bat to ball and picking up runs. And
Good arm from Daniel Arms.
That brings up the 200 for Ham-Wicks. So this is going to be a very difficult score for the Magpies to rein in. But good bowling there from Payne.
I guess it'll be interesting to see how they approach it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's 10 and over. So this, in terms of building an innings and sort of making sure you got wickets in hand, that's all well and fine. But at 10 and over, it's a hard ask. Perhaps they could look at trying to work as many 2s and 3s as they can, because Ham-Wicks possibly haven't had to do that.
It's a single down the ground for Webber. And that's the end of the innings. So Ham-Wicks finished 4 for 201. And pretty much a fine all-round batting display. I mean, obviously Sam Webber was the highlight, wasn't he, Murray? But some good contributions there from Reece Hanlon and even Callan Single earlier in the match.
That's right, Josh. Sam Webber, it was absolutely fantastic innings. He hit the ball to all parts of the ground, but he had tremendous support with Reece Hanlon, and also although he was a little bit slow starting, Callum Single did a fantastic job and hit some almighty heaves to deep mid-off. He was a tremendous puncher of the ball, and then got up the other end to support Sam. So 201, that's going to be hard to get.
I mean, there's probably no Sam Webber-style players in the Charlestown lineup. They don't have a guy who can probably hit the ball like him. So who do you think's really going to be the guy to get them home? I mean, is it more about just building good partnerships and working the ball around?
I think it is. The outfield is very quick. I believe that it is a big ground. There's plenty of 2s and 3s available. I tend to believe that it's going to be a team effort. Certainly they can't go out all guns blazing playing cross-bat shots from the get-go, because I think that's going to end in tears. But if they bat together, run as hard as they can, they are a youthful team. And there's no substitute for youth and speed. But I guess at the end of the day, if they could be 80 or 90 after 10 overs and they've got wickets in hand, who knows?
All right, we'll be back in a couple of minutes for the run chase. It's Ham-Wicks 201 with Charlestown with a lot of work ahead. Welcome back here to Passmore Oval for the run chase from Charlestown. Ham-Wicks, of course, made 202 in the first innings, backed by a beautiful 95 from Sam Webber, and he's opening the bowling now from the northern end for Ham-Wicks. And at the crease is Liam Guest, and Daniel Arms with Guest now on strike. And joining me again is Murray Christie.
Hi, Josh.
First run there to Guest with a drive to the covers. Charlestown off the mark. But what are they going to have to do you think, to rein in this target of 203? It's over 10 and over, so it's certainly going to be difficult.
Certainly going to be difficult, but they need to be positive. And in being positive, they need to see off the new ball and the express pace of Sam Webber. But at the end of the day, anything is possible. I do believe that they could achieve it in running turning lots of twos into threes and so on. Daniel Arms is coming off a season in the UK where he's performed well. I played about 8 million games with his dad, Greg. I think Daniel's a much calmer individual than his father, although it wouldn't be hard. Having said that, Greg is a nice bloke.
Oh, good ball there from Webber. Of course, Daniel Arms, of course, was living over with the family of Callum Jackson, I believe, over in the UK, and Jackson will be coming when he does arrive eventually. He'll be living with the Arms family as well. So sort of great how cricket can sort of form those good bonds, across borders and different parts of the world. But certainly a rise in pace from the Charlestown bowlers, isn't he, Sam Webber?
There's a marked difference in pace. While the ball's hard and there is a bit of covering of grass on the wicket, it can be a very difficult proposition. But the faster you bowl, the more the quicker you can come off the bat as well.
Just bowling that difficult short of a length there, and getting a bit of bounce too, which we didn't really see in the first innings.
Indeed. That covering of grass, certainly while the ball's very hard, realistically on a wicket like this, and if the ball starts getting hit around, it won't be hard for very long.
He's away there, Daniel Arms. Little block away there to mid-wicket. And it's after 1 over, Charlestown, and none for 2. Yeah, well, during the week when I guess after the news with Phil Hughes' death on Thursday broke, talking to a lot of first-grade captains on Friday about how they thought cricket this weekend would be approached, and I guess the issue of would anyone bowl bounces or would there be any sledging, all that sort of stuff, and most thought that cricket would probably be a little bit different for a while, that you wouldn't see any sort of short pitch bowling, and maybe the competitiveness would still be there, but maybe the spirit would be a little bit higher than in general.
Yeah, I would suggest that a lot of the players, particularly bowlers, would have been a little bit sheepish going into yesterday's round. Realistically, we need to understand that whilst a very tragic and sad moment for Phil Hughes, I think even Phil Hughes' family would acknowledge that this was a freakish incident. The ball did hit him on the back of his head because he'd already played through the shot. He had got to 63 not out, but I read an interesting article during the week where Mark Cameron was toying with the idea. He didn't feel that he could bowl bouncers anymore, and I guess it's perfectly natural to feel that way. Given the circumstances, obviously our hearts go out to Sean Abbott, who I guess would playing cricket again could possibly be the last thing on his mind. But it doesn't surprise me that these thoughts are dominant at present.
Now we've got So Josh Trappel bowling here from the southern end, not normally an opening bowler, so this is a bit of an interesting move.
And that's an example of where ones and twos and threes can be picked up just by sort of working the ball around. Obviously, I think that might have come off the pads, that particular ball, but the size of this ground suggests that there are runs that can be picked up. The outfield is lightning. Given
that Sam Webb is the dominant bowler in this Ham-Wicks side, do you think that Charlestown really need to look to the score runs against guys like Josh Trappel?
Yes, I do. I think they just need to keep the good ones out from Sam Webber. Let's face it, he can only bowl 4 overs.
Knocked away there from Arms for another single. Charlestown moved to none for 7. Another single there to Liam Guest.
And I guess you could say it's been a cautious start from Charlestown at this point in time, which is not a bad thing because they are preserving wickets. And perhaps once they see off the opening spell of Sam Webber, they could sort of look to launch from there.
Oh, little edge there. Got squared up a bit there by Josh Trappel. Good ball. They'll come back for the second. That's 2 there to Arms. We'll just go through the batting order here to come for Charlestown. Coming in its first drop is going to be Chris Rodina, followed by the captain Dane McCourt. Then we've got Chris Connors at 5, Roscoe Thatil, the Sri Lankan, at 6. We've got Jackson Mace in at 7, Parth Shah, Isaac Wallace, Aaron Payne, and Max McGann.
Oh.
Well,
I would suggest that that's hit the bottom of the bat and come straight back to Josh Trappel.
Yeah, bizarre sort of a dismissal, wasn't it? I kept looking to see the ball fly over the top of square leg, but just straight back to the bowler, and nice catch by Trappel, and disappointing dismissal there for Daniel Arms, because he's sort of one of the good, bright talents in this Magpie side.
Most certainly, and I guess if you're going to start cautiously, wickets in hand need to be the key. However, they still have 9 left and plenty of time to go.
New batsman at the crease is Chris Rodina. Been around district cricket for quite a while now, so one of the more experienced players in this Charlestown lineup.
Played at both Cardiff and Charlestown for memory. And despite Sam Webber's innings, where he batted tremendously well, he's still running in with tremendous energy. And I think he seems to have shaken that back injury at this point in time.
Bowled a lot of overs too yesterday, from what I was told. Bowled nearly unchanged, so a little French cut there.
Bowled a lot of successful overs too, from what I can understand. I'm not quite sure how long it took Ham-Wicks to get to 3 for 140. Or 3 for 130, but I can only assume that they've knocked Newcastle City over twice in 50 or 60 overs.
From memory, I believe it was 20 overs. They rolled them for 40 runs in 20 overs, and then batted for 32 overs. He had 130 odd, and then rolled them again for 40 overs for 80, I believe. 90, sorry, from memory. Yes, 90. So. Very poor day from City, and fantastic day all around for Ham-Wicks, and Suppose I'll have the feet up and maybe watching the races next week.
Yeah, unfortunately, this time of year, the spring racing carnival's over. You could almost throw $20 over and buy the field as they come past in each race.
There'll be some dogs down at Dapto, won't there? Something like that.
There's always a race on somewhere. Starting in New Zealand at 9 o'clock in the morning, finishing in Great Britain about 2 o'clock the next morning.
But 1 for 11 here in the third over. Charlestown probably need to start getting a move on. But that's good running there. That's what they need to do if they can't score heavily off some good balls and just need to knock away those singles. Keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Indeed, because by comparison, after 3 overs, at the completion of this over, Ham-Wicks were 2 for 31. The saving grace for Charlestown is the next 2 overs after that, they put the brakes on.
Bit of an appeal there, but looked like it was going down leg side. That's the end of the third over for Ham-Wicks, and Charlestown are 1 for 12. Yeah, just going down this this batting card for Charlestown. McCourt is in next. He's probably the most classy batsman in the Charlestown lineup. He probably needs to be in the runs. And also Chris Connors is also quite an aggressive batsman. He scored first grade hundreds before. So I think they're going to have to be the guys that really carry them to any sort of victory. Little single there for Rodina.
Well, Dane McCourt is their experienced player. He played as a keeper batsman for Newcastle some 4 or 5 years ago. So they certainly would be looking to Dane to drive the innings. And he's certainly capable. He's a good clean hitter of the ball.
Josh Travel here bowling to Liam Guest. I look for a single there, but well fielded.
And they really need to pick up those sort of singles. There was an easy run there. The last thing they need to do is be missing out on runs.
For those of you who missed the first innings, these are the scores. We had Shane Hughes out for 23. Callum Single made 17. Josh Trappel fell for a duck. And then we had Webber, who made a 95 with some absolutely beautiful clean hitting with a ton of sixes and boundaries. Reece Hamlin finished with 45 not out, and he was also a great innings. He really helped keep Webber on strike, and then when Webber fell, he did some beautiful clean hitting of his own, and then Matt Webber also finished 1 not out for the innings to finish at 4 for 202. That'll be 2 more runs there for Liam Guest, taking Charlestown to 1 to 17.
And I guess, Josh, that's a classic example of why Hamilton Wickham have been the benchmark of the abbreviated game for some time. They've won a good number of SCG Cups.
I think 5 actually. I think the highest winning SCG Country Cup team in the history of the competition.
And they've been tremendous over the years. It's been quite remarkable that Newcastle clubs have won it all but about 2 occasions, and it's been in existence since 2001. I don't think it sits all that well with the hierarchy, actually.
Got a bit of room there that time, Rodina, but whacked it down to third man, only for a single. It's the end of the fourth over. Charlestown 1 for 19.
But the SCG Cup has been a tremendous concept. As I said, it kicked off in 2001. It was then called the NRMA Cup. I think for a couple of years it was called the Country Cup and then the SCG Cup. But it's really sort of been a wonderful competition.
Yeah, certainly the opportunity to play at a ground like the SCG is fantastic for all country cricketers. I imagine most of these guys could only ever dream of playing in front of that old green member stand, but it must be a massive thrill to play on that hallowed turf.
The dressing rooms alone is an experience.
And a look for two here, Charlestown, and they'll make it. Two more to Rodina.
And this is good running. And this is where Charlestown, if they're to make an impact on the outcome of the game, this is where they need to take the ascendancy in the turning twos into threes, ones into twos, etc. So this is Sam Webber's third over. Be interesting to see if they keep one in the bag for the end or whether they bowl Sam out. It's fair to say that Sam could be a little bit ginger after his workout yesterday, particularly coming back from a back strain.
Well, having watched him bowl a bit in the Newcastle T20 matches in the Sydney comp, he's nearly twice as quick today. I mean, he was bowling very much within himself during that competition due to his back, but today he's really looks like he's back to his old pace again. So it's great signs for Ham-Wicks because when Sam Webber's firing, they generally win matches.
Absolutely. And it can be a confidence thing too. Ham-Wicks tend to be very clinical about the way they go about their game. The team knows how each other play. They have played together for some time. It is a fairly younger side compared to what we've seen in the last couple of years, but they've certainly got good depth in their side.
Yeah, they have some great juniors coming through too. I mean, Ben Balcom, one who isn't here today, as we were talking about earlier, is away on schoolies. But I know talking to guys like Mark Cameron, they now consider him to be, at 18, the best wicketkeeper in Newcastle. And he's also a fine batsman too. And Reece Hanlon too is only 18, 19. He's coming through and he looks a great prospect as well. He's also played a bit of rep cricket already.
They've had a good feeder club over the years in Mayfield Colts. I actually played juniors for Mayfield Colts about 1,000 years ago, but they've built up a great relationship, thanks mainly to a man who passed away a couple of years ago called Ronnie Aarons. And a lot of Ham-Wicks' successes has come from that junior, the relationship with the junior club.
That's the end of the fifth over with Charlestown 1 for 23.
And looking at that, they're not that far behind. After 5 overs, Ham-Wicks were 2 for 33, so they're not that far off the money. Unfortunately for Charlestown, I guess, is then Sam Webber started going berserk, so Ham-Wicks did get away after that.
Change of bowler here. Mitchell Casey's on from the southern end for Ham-Wicks. He's one of their new signings this season. Come from CNS cricket, I believe.
Big tall timber as well. I stood next to him just before.
Oh, just out of reach there. It'll go away for the first boundary of the Charlestown innings.
So he's nearly been caught by Shane Hughes there, but given the speed of the outfield, it raced to the boundary.
It's 4 runs there to Liam Guest, and really they've got to start going, don't they? I mean, they're at 1 for 27. We're into the 6th over now. if they want to get anywhere near this 200, they really probably have to start playing a few more shots.
Take a few risks, perhaps.
So worked away well. Single there to Guest.
Because if memory serves me correctly, and we do have some dark clouds looming, hopefully they will go around us and we can get the whole game in. But I think we're at the stage now where we can constitute a game.
I'm not totally sure. It's a good question. Yeah, and the umpire's giving it a little nick there from Rodina. And an easy catch there for the wicket keeper. And first wicket there to Mitchell Casey in his first over of the match. Charlestown 2 for 28.
And as we see Dane McCourt come to the crease, as we were talking about before, Dane really holds the key to Charlestown sort of making an impact on this game. Dane's been around for a lot of years. He's a good cricketer, and I think the batsmen need to sort of work around him. There's a lot of young batsmen. Chris Connors, we talked about, comes in next. Roscoe Thattil after that, and then another young man called Jackson Mace. Jackson's actually the son of Charlestown club stalwart Rod Mace, and obviously the nephew of the recently retired Steve Mace. If he has half their ability, he's going to be a good young cricketer.
Oh, good start there from McCourt. Beautiful little pull shot to swivel on the back foot and right on the carpet, and he'll come back for 3. But yeah, confident start.
A very good start from Dane. Obviously, with the field restrictions at this point in time, I think this is the last over of the field restrictions, and they need to take full advantage.
Of course, better mention too that umpiring today, we've got Terry Collins at the striker's end at the moment, and at square leg is Robert Irvine. Misfield there is going to cost Ham-Wicks a run. Come back for 2 there to Liam Guest.
And that was good attacking cricket from Liam Guest. He hit the ball well to mid-off, but put the pressure on him by calling for the single and forced the misfield. So Charlestown still remain 10 off the pace because after 6 overs, Ham-Wicks were 2 for 43.
Change of bowler now from the northern end for Ham-Wicks with Agnew coming on. One of the another new young player in the Ham-Wicks side. Hasn't played a great deal of first grade. So be interesting to see how he goes.
So clearly Ham-Wicks have decided to leave an over up their sleeve with Sam Webber in case they need him.
Quick single there to McCourt, but this is probably where Charlestown really need to start taking stock, don't they? I mean, you've got Webber's out of the attack now, and you've got these young guys who haven't played a lot of first grade cricket. They're probably going to be a lot more nervous. This might be a chance to really up the ante and start hitting a few boundaries.
And perhaps Liam Guest could start to take a few risks, and Dane McCourt can just drive the innings from there. Interesting, but I'm not sure kicking the ball towards the stumps is that great an idea. It ricochets off the stumps, and all of a sudden there's a run available. Doesn't do a lot if your sprigs go over the top of the ball either.
Knocked that way for an easy single, Guest.
Agnew seems to slide onto the bat quite well, bowling with a reasonable amount of speed. And it's fair to say there has been a marked difference in the speed between the two sides at this point.
Opens his arms a little bit there, McCord, and hits it down the ground, but still only a single.
I think Charlestown have realised too that these are the overs where they perhaps need to cash in. Another boundary to Liam Guest. I think Liam Guest has made his intentions known. He's looking to lift the run rate.
Well, he's been there now for 7 overs, so he should have his eye in. So he's probably time to start taking a few risks and get his run rate going. Nicely played there, just leant on it and punched away for another single. That's the end of the over, and Charlestown now 2 for 41.
They've slowly built the ascendancy. There was 8 off that over. So I guess it's fair to say that they can look to sort of pile on some runs with the two, let's say, lesser experienced bowlers. Not saying they haven't done a good job, but certainly it's a little bit of a come down from the lofty heights of Sam Webber.
Yeah, well bowled there by Casey, but they'll just get a single. But yeah, he's been quite impressive, hasn't he? In his first 7 deliveries, he's been quite tight. He's picked up the wicket, 2 of Rodina, so it's been hard to get away.
Indeed, he started very well, giving the batsman very little. And that's a nice shot.
It's the first boundary for McCord. At the very first ball he faced, he played a beautiful pull shot with a sort of a classic Ricky Ponting swivel there, but only went for 3. But that time it was a little bit further down the leg, and he just helped it on its way. But yeah, certainly the Magpies need some boundaries, and he's certainly the most recognised batsman in their side. So I think he's got to be the guy that really kicks on here and gets a big score.
You'd be pleased to hear you drawing comparisons to Ricky Ponting as well.
Well, he's loving that pull shot. Another one way to the boundary for 4. And, of course, Punter loved the pull shot too, but maybe not quite as good as Ponting yet, but he's looking good, McCord.
He might have a little bit to go, but it is good batting. He's not trying to hit the ball too hard. I'm not sure where Casey's bowling is in the game plan, but Dane McCourt's played them very well.
Bowled short again. Yeah, I'm not sure what the thinking is, trying to bang it in short to McCourt, because he's looked very good on the back foot so far, and another 2 runs there as well.
And it's brought the Charlestown crowd into the game. They're starting to become more vocal as runs start to pile on.
Yeah, I'm not sure on anyone's game plan where bowling short down leg side is really in the plan, but
When there's no fine leg or square leg, no.
a little bit full of that time. But McCourt's hit him down to mid on. He'll pick up the single. But yeah, this is much better stuff from the Magpies. Now move to 2 for 53.
And this is where Dane McCourt is key. His experience can inspire his younger players.
We'll run out of chance. Ooh. Had the bails off before the ball got there that time.
That was good for Charlestown, though. You don't really want the skipper barbecued at this point in time, just when he's starting to look good. That's
the end of the 8th over. Charlestown 2 for 53. So plenty of work still to do, but as we said, that was a good over for the Magpies.
So in comparison, Ham-Wicks were, after 8 overs, 2 for 67. So realistically, only 14 off the pace at this point in time. Both were two wickets down. So depending on how these younger bowlers can perform, Charlestown are still in the match.
You're looking for 2 here, McCourt. They come back easily. Well, he's hoiked that and it'll go away for 4. Drift a little bit onto the pads there, Agnew, and McCourt played across the line, but hoiked it on its way, and that's another 4 runs. Charlestown now 2 for 59.
And I guess with all due respect to the young bowler, this is an example of where he hasn't bowled to his field, similar to the previous over, and Dane McCourt's taken advantage of it.
Little misfield there, and he'll get a single, but that was strongly hit there by McCourt. Looks like Sam Webber there at mid-wicket. Or Matt. Pretty hard to tell them apart.
My money's on Sam.
I normally judge it off the walk. That's how I tell them apart.
Matt's the shorter twin.
Yeah, good ball there from Jack Agnew. A little bit slower.
He's really come back well in this over.
Oh, nice cut shot from Guest. Beat the field there. But it'll be cut off on the boundary. They should come back for 3. But yeah, it's what looks like quite spongy and slow, the grass out there. But fine cricket shot.
And a wonderful piece of fielding from the deep there. It was a terrific throw back to the keeper. But given that's probably the longest part of the ground, he was never going to prevent that 3rd run from occurring.
9 overs gone, 2 for 63, so at a run rate of 9. So they're not that far off where they need to be. Run rate is just over 10.
By comparison, Ham-Wicks were 2 for 70, so realistically only about 7 runs off the speed.
I guess the only concern is probably for Charlestown. It's hard to see where they're going to have anyone like a Sam Webber who can just hit boundaries at will. Like they don't seem to have those big players who can just hoik the ball over the fence. But maybe be proved wrong. I mean, these two are starting to look comfortable at the crease.
Yeah, that's right, Josh. I don't think Charlestown actually possess a Sam Webber. Well, it's fair to say most clubs in Newcastle don't either. But I think where they can win it, like they need to bat with their skipper, Dane McCourt, and they need to turn those, try and pinch those extra runs. There's plenty of gaps on this ground.
Big hit there from McCourt, but yeah, should be safe. I'll come back for 2. But you got Callum Single now bowling 2 here from the southern end. Of course, opened the batting earlier in the day for Ham-Wicks.
I'm wondering if there's a slow bowler in this side, Josh.
To my knowledge, no. Not in today's lineup anyway. Slow bowl there, and he's good running there by Charlestown.
It has been good running. I will say, despite the fact that Ham-Wicks hit a lot of 4s and 6s, I believe that Charlestown have actually run between the wickets better.
Yeah, I agree.
At this stage of the match. When you're hitting 4s and 6s, I suppose it's not as necessary, but they've run very well, Charlestown. That'll be safe again.
Well, he's riding his luck here, isn't he, McCord? He's hit a couple now in the air, but just clearing the infield and not quite getting to the fielder on the boundary. So sure we're starting to frustrate Single.
Just using the pitching wedge, just laying up in front of the green.
A lot better than my pitching wedge. Normally ends over the back of the green. Oh, fine hit from Guest. And this will go for 4. 1 bounce over the fence. Nice clean hitting from the Charlestown youngster.
So again, this has been a productive over for Charlestown. They now find themselves at 2 for 73. There's still a ball remaining in this over. So they're slowly building. Have to bowl that one again.
Yeah, it's been intelligent the way I think these two in particular approach this innings. They've sort of identified, well, Webber was the strong man, but let's just try and survive him and take some runs off the sort of younger bowlers in their side, and that's what they're doing now. And they've run hard. They've picked up the 2s and the 3s and the occasional boundary.
The other thing, as we come to the end of the 10th over, is that if there isn't a slow bowler, you're getting a lot of these medium paces that bowl at the same pace. There could be the risk of a lack of variety. Whilst the bowlers have bowled quite well, they've certainly bowled a couple of loose ones, which has led to boundaries being scored. And realistically, it's always handy to have somebody to slow the ball down.
And Charlestown 2 for 74 after 10 overs. So yes, for the halfway mark, still plenty of work to be done. They're certainly behind on the run rate required, but still plenty of time to lift that as we get to the dying overs.
I think, Josh, this next 4 or 5 overs will actually sort of tell the tale of the match, I believe.
Be the infield there, McCord. He'll come back for 2.
And good running again. For Charlestown to be competitive, though, one of these batsmen need to be there at the end.
I'm pushing for another 2 here. And they'll get it easy. There's plenty of room out there on the eastern side of the field. So if you can run hard, you can pick up plenty of runs.
For the viewers, the actual playing surface is on the furthest side of the square, closest to the grandstand.
Oh, great
and that's
shot,
the maximum.
McCord. And that really was dangerous for the cars out there. But, yeah, great hitting from McCord over cow corner. And that pushes the score down to 2 for 84 for Charlestown. So
gives the 2 batsmen a chance to get their breath back. There's been a lot of twos run, and it gives them a chance to take stock and gather their thoughts.
So yeah, Jack Agnew, see how he hits back from that 6. Good strong hitting again with McCord, but he'll only get 1 there. Good fielding in the deep.
He found the fielder well there, but by gee, he hit the ball well.
Geez, would have been out for sure then, wouldn't he? But it was a tight single, but good fielding.
I think the run needed to be taken, and it would have been from a deepish point to run that batsman out, to run Liam Guest out would have been a tremendous piece of fielding. Would have had to have been doing everything right.
It's the end of the 11th over for Charlestown. They're 2 for 87.
By comparison, Ham-Wicks were 3 for 94. So Charlestown do have a wicket in hand. That said, when Ham-Wicks lost their 3rd wicket, they then went on to put on a partnership of about 100, 110 in fairly quick time.
But yeah, these two are looking quite set, aren't they? I mean, they're as we keep saying, they're running between the wickets well. They're communicating well, and that occasional boundary from McCord is just tipping the scales and keeping the run rate flowing. So they keep that going. We might have a real good finish on our hands. I just fell just short.
I think you might find, Josh, that I'm pretty sure that's Shane Hughes there, that he's put that down.
Mm.
Difficult low-down catch, but he takes that they're well on the way to winning.
Oh, the old man cat warning. Josh Travels talking with the umpire here.
There's a little bit of confusion at this point in time. It's been called a no ball.
And a free hit as well. So
I'm not entirely certain if a ball didn't get up the other end how it could be a no ball, but I've been out of the game a while.
Yeah, my sort of knowledge of the rules, I would have thought it was a dead ball, and it was you'd given a warning to the batsman for being out of his ground. So yeah, it's a strange one. Powerful shot, but couldn't beat the fielder, and that free hit ends up in a dot ball.
Possibly, Josh, a little bit of justice, because I've played a little bit of cricket over the years, and I'm not sure I've seen that.
No, I don't think Josh Trapple had seen it either. He didn't seem too happy about it. Well, he's picked the gap again here, McCourt. No, they side against a second run. I
found it interesting, even the unflappable Sam Webber offered some advice to the umpire, which was promptly ignored.
Well, I know Royce McCormack, the head of the umpires and secretary of Newcastle Cricket, is home and watching. So if you're watching, Royce, you can text me in and let me know, explain that rule to me.
We might hear more about it on 2NURFM. I think Royce still works there, doesn't he?
No, I don't think he does anymore.
Retired.
I think so. Don't quote me on that, but last I heard, I didn't think he was doing it anymore. Again, you text me, Royce, let me know if that's the true or not.
Hello, Royce. Oh, good running, good pressure cricket, that.
Another 2 there. It's for McCourt. Takes Charlestown to 2 for 91.
Popped into Waratah Oval a few weeks ago. Waratah was the first game of the season. Waratah were playing Walls End, and a Walls End player hit the ball through square leg. Waratah fielder zigged, as did Royce, and Royce ended up on his back. Royce dusted himself off, and we all moved on.
He's a very, very good man, Royce. Does plenty for Newcastle cricket. It's hard to find anyone that loves the game more than him. End of the 12th over. Now Charlestown have moved to 2 for 92.
About 10 off the pace, Josh.
Looks like Matt Webber's going to come on for a bowl now from the northern end. Looks like Josh Trapple was still asking the umpire about that last over and the no ball.
I guess he can ask all he likes, but nothing's going to change now. And Matt Webber, whilst a very tidy medium pace bowler, he is just that, another medium pace bowler.
I'm reliably informed that he still is on 2NURFM. So my apologies there. Not a big listener of 2NUR, I must say. But great radio station. Tune in if you're out there on the weekend.
The golden tonsils of 2NURFM.
All right, we just got a score in from the Cardiff Bullaroo Waratah Mayfield game, and Waratah have recorded their first win of the season, chasing down Cardiff's 9 for 92 with no wickets down. So a 10-wicket victory there for Waratah, finishing none for 93. So you'd be particularly happy with that one, Murray?
I'm going to go home and put a jacket on because Hill might freeze over as well. But I'm very pleased for the Waratah Mayfield boys. They can take a lot of positives out of that. And with their 3 wickets remaining against University, they can knock over those remaining 190 runs.
Yeah, some very one-sided results in two-day cricket yesterday, weren't there? I know, as we spoke about earlier, Ham-Wicks defeated City outright in one day, but also Waratah, Cardiff and West are all on track to losing outright as well. Certainly some one-sided performances. So
And given the weather as it is, I'd like to think that all wickets. Learmonth Park is a belter of a wicket, and for 23 wickets to fall, or 20 from one particular side, it really is staggering. We're reliably informed that that Royce McCormick, who we spoke about before, who loves his cricket's into his 33rd year of umpiring, and Royce has certainly umpired me plenty of times, and one of those umpires that takes great enjoyment in giving me out.
That's the end of the 13th over for Charlestown. Now moved to 2 for 95. But, we're certainly in the stage where they're really going to have to put the foot to the pedal, aren't they, and lift this run rate with some big hitting, I think.
Indeed, because after 13 overs, Ham-Wicks were 3 for 108, and this is where Ham-Wicks really did pile on the ascendancy. So I guess they're 13 off the pace at this point in time. I would suggest that a few risks need to be taken now in order to remain competitive in this match.
Well, slash outside off stump goes through the keeper for a dot ball. So by the look of that shot, looks like maybe Guest has decided that it's time to start going. But plenty of batting too in the order to come, like Chris Connors and Roscoe Thattil. So perhaps they pretty much need to start taking some risks and get out if they're not going to push on the scoring. Well, it's just going to fall short of Casey. Just a single.
Callum Single has really put the brakes on this over. In fact, it's fair to say he hasn't bowled a bad spell today.
Yeah, he's another one of those young guys who came through the same sort of crop as Ben Bolcombe and Reece Hanlon. They're all around that 18, 19 and 20 age mark. Oh, well, this is going over the fence. Great shot from McCourt. Good 10 metres over the fence, actually.
And that's a fairly lengthy part of the ground as well. That was a very good blow.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the bigger boundaries, isn't it? That eastern side of the field. So great shot by the Charlestown skipper in his first year as the Charlestown skipper.
After all his years at Charlestown, it would have been a bit difficult to organise a coup against Steve Mace.
Be sacrilegious, wouldn't it?
It would have been trouble. Callum Single into his last delivery. Again, he's bowled well. Obviously, the ball went for 6 just before, but he has bowled a good spell.
Show off my Guest. Beautiful cut. He's been strong on the cut today, and
good
dive there, but he hasn't prevented the boundary, and that's 4 more for Liam Guest.
This has been a good over for Charlestown. It's at least 12 off it.
Oh, look at the two. They're going to go for it.
Good pressure.
Yeah, great running.
That is good running. Both batsmen would be starting to fatigue by now. They have run hard but run well. And I guess as the pressure builds, if both Guest and McCourt can continue to pile on the pressure, that then puts the Ham-Wicks fielders under pressure, and as well as the bowlers, and some interesting things can happen.
And they've certainly recognised that too, Charlestown. They've sort of, they've recognised the fact that they're not going to belt their way to victory today. They're going to have to do it through hard running and intelligent running and putting pressure on the Ham-Wicks fielders, and they've done that very well. Now at 2 for 110 in the 15th over. Good bowling here from Matt Webber. He's just keeping it up in the block hole, not giving McCourt any room to get those arms free.
Bowling a very full length, and given that the field's set as it is, there's no person at deep mid-wicket. Obviously, he's bowling to the captain's instructions.
Oh, he slashed it over the top of gully, and that'll go away for 4. He's riding his luck all day, McCourt, but it's coming off. Actually had sort of like a fine-ish, probably 2 gullies really, didn't they, for that shot there? And he's beat the pair of them. Knocked that down to deep mid-on for another single. Charlestown move to 2 for 115.
And I guess looking at the body language of the Ham-Wicks players, they seem that they have the situation under control at this point in time. And a good piece of wicket keeping.
Good bowling too, wasn't it? He sort of tossed it up, enticed him out of his crease.
Yeah.
And but yeah,
I think you'll find that that delivery actually came out of the back of Matt Webber's hand. So it was a good change up, and obviously left Liam Guest a bit short.
But yeah, well taken there by Mitchell Ray, or Stinger as they call him. He's doesn't get many chances to play first grade anymore because of Ben Balcombe, but with Balcombe away at the Gold Coast, he's taken the opportunity and completed a very tidy little stumping. Charlestown lose their 3rd wicket for 115. A new batsman will be Chris Connors.
Not an easy time for Chris Connors to come into bat with 5 overs to go, given the fact that he's pretty much got to get on with it straight away. When you look at the score at 3 for 115, there's probably 5 and a half overs to go, and they need another 87 runs, 88 runs. It's at 16 and over, they can't really muck around. Oh, trouble.
Yeah, McCourt sent Connors back there, but luckily he was back in time. It was a good bit of fielding there by Mitch Casey.
And that was a terrific over from Matt Webber. He's really put the pressure on Charlestown now. Realistically, at this point in time, if you're not scoring 8 to 10 and over, and as we know, the run rate's now about 16 and over, the run rate can really build. So Callum Single didn't get the invite to school this week?
I think he might be a tad older, actually. I think he's a year or 2 outside of school, but I'm not entirely sure. But from memory, I think Ben is the youngest of the 3 that sort of came through at the same time. Slash here over the top from Connors. Beats the fielder, but he'll come back for... Sorry, it was McCourt, and he'll come back for 2.
I was hoping you'd say that Callum decided to stay at home because he loves his cricket so much.
Oh, I'm sure that's true as well. Full toss, and Cracked away by McCourt. They'll come back for 2. And he's gone. Oh. Connors. Great bit of fielding in the deep. And Callum Single really had the bails whipped off very quickly there and left Connors easily short of his ground. And that's a big loss there for Charlestown because he would have been handy at the death.
Yeah, Josh, that was a terrific piece of fielding. He had to be doing everything right for Connors to be run out, and he did just that. Ball came in at chest height, flat as attack. A tremendous piece of fielding.
Now it's the Sri Lankan Roscoe Thatil.
I'll tell you one thing's for certain, he's keen. He's already out there. The stuff that Greg Geese used to do years ago, he'd almost meet the person at the edge of the square. Didn't have time to pat anyone on the back from the previous wicket.
No, you would love batting, wouldn't you, Geesey?
Love playing against Waratah. I know that much. Wouldn't sleep the night before. Ooh.
I thought about 2, but probably smartly thought against it.
Dane McCourt didn't want to barbecue 2 blokes in 2 balls, perhaps.
And what a diamond duck there too for Thatil without facing a ball. Had a pleasure of getting 2 of them in my life.
Yeah, I got one. Yeah.
Come back for a second.
He's very quick between the wickets.
Yeah.
And what I'm expecting to see with the subcontinent batsmen, a very, very wristy style of batting. Don't be surprised if balls are being skewed through the back of square leg from off stump. They are very flexible in their arms.
He's not much of him. He's a very small man, but so we'll see what sort of power he's got. Oh! Caught out the ramp shot.
The ramp shot.
Oh, what's happened here? He's saying... Is he saying he didn't caught it? Didn't catch it?
And that's tremendous sportsmanship from the Ham-Wicks keeper, Ray. Thatil's immediate reaction was not very pleased.
No, but
umpire the reason why.
Umpire did give him out. So, as you said, great sportsmanship by Mitchell Ray. I wonder if he'll try another ramp shot. Two runs.
Good pressure, good cricket, good fielding, yes. And I have to say the umpiring has been good today. There's been a couple of slightly controversial situations. A no ball that I've never seen in my life before. But the honestly, the keeper prevented any further controversy.
Oh. Well,
is what he attempted before.
It's gone away for 4. Wasn't quite a ramp. It was more of a like just stepped right across trying to play a sort of a hook shot sort of thing. It's
it always amazes me the batsmen that play these shots. I mean, we've seen the T20 Big Bash, and for me, I've always valued my teeth a lot more than what some of these batsmen do. But it really is a tricky shot.
And we have 4 overs to go, and it's Charlestown 4 for 126. Matt Webber coming into bowl to McCourt. Ooh, I think McCourt's thinking about trying to copy his Sri Lankan teammate a little bit with.
And all he succeeded in doing is wearing it to the breadbasket. But they've got to try things now. They do need a further 77 to win.
Might be time for a reverse sweep. We haven't seen any of that today.
Well, there's space down at third man. That back of the hand delivery that Matt Webber managed to draw out the stumping. Not so successful this time.
Yeah, we've seen a ramp shot. We've seen we're not even sure what the other one shot was a pull ramp sort of thing. But anyway, we'll call it the pull ramp. And so let's see what he does this time. Certainly been intriguing viewing.
There's good bowling by Matt Webber. There really is not a lot you can do with that.
No. Yeah, it's one of his specialties, bowling in these sort of situations. Doesn't have the pace or the bounce of his twin brother, but very accurate and very tight, and has a lot of little tricks with his hair, as we're talking about the ball out of the back of the hand and that sort of thing. So very clever bowler.
He does tend to have the calmness of his twin brother, though, doesn't he? It takes a lot to rattle either of them. Very good over this.
Yeah, there's really not much Dave McCourt could do there, but bun it down the ground. It was very difficult to hit them in the air over the fence, and
Josh, Dane McCourt's batted very well today. He's improvised well, seized on the loose ball, and let's face it, there haven't been too many loose balls that Ham-Wicks have bowled, so he's done a great job.
And he's bowled him. Yes, just tried the wrong shot there. The young Sri Lankan tried to hoik that to the leg side, and clean bowled by Matt Webber. Charlestown now 5 for 129.
And I think it's fair to say, Josh, that Ham-Wicks are going to come away with this match. They've deserved it. They've been quite clinical in their bowling and fielding, and Sam Webber was totally explosive in his batting as well. He did a fantastic job. However, with 3.5 overs to go, who knows?
Yeah, I don't think Charlestown have actually played too bad today. I think it's been a pretty decent performance, but I think they were just simply blown away by just the incredible hitting of Sam Webber. I don't think any team in this competition would have been able to compete with the way he was hitting the ball today. I mean, maybe a Merriweather could have, Sam Gilmore or Mark Cameron might have been able to get him early, but the way he was hitting the ball, I don't think anyone could have kept him in check. The new batsman of the crease is Jackson Mace.
It's a good point you make, Josh, because when you look at the scoreboard, at 5 for 129 with 3 overs remaining, if you remember we talked about a par score being 160. In actual fact, if that occurs, Charlestown are right in the match. So they have done a good job.
Yeah, I think simply Sam Webber's one of those players where, if he isn't on song, you can get him cheaply. Well, you've got a big chance of beating Ham-Wicks, but if he really pulls out his best work, well, they're nearly unbeatable in this competition.
And strangely enough, he might have been 30 or 40 at the time that there was the first of those half chances presented. And they talk about catches win matches. If that was taken, we could be talking a different story.
Yeah, it's also been a very good performance here by the Ham-Wicks bowlers. They've bowled as a unit. There's not, as we were saying, not a great deal of variety in the attack. They're all right arm, medium pace bowlers, but everyone's done their job, bowled the good lines.
And I think Matt Webber's made the difference there. He's given the batsman very little to play with.
Oh. Well, that would have been a great caught and bowled there. It's a very tough chance. Looked like he had about maybe three or two grabs at it, didn't he?
Yeah.
But,
well, he's on full. He's going through his full follow through. You get the ball hit back at you. Your first reaction is that of fear because you think you're going to get turned into a three-eyed monster, and then all of a sudden you put your hands up. And Jackson maces away.
Great fielding in the deep there. He's still wringing his hands, Mitchell Casey. That a drop catch really did hurt. Not only his pride. Oh, good catch.
Very well held there in the deep. Again, the fielder running in, the ball low down, gets the hands underneath and completes the job.
That ends a good knock from the captain, Dane McCourt, today. He's played well, run between wickets strongly, but in the end, he's probably hit a lot in the air and he's rode his luck at times, but in the end, it failed him.
He did do a fantastic job. He certainly lived by the sword there for a period during his innings, but Dane McCourt's the reason why Charlestown were in the game for this long.
Got Parth Shah now taking the crease. He'll be on strike. Two overs to go, and Charlestown now 6 for 132. So it's going to be a great weekend for Ham-Wicks. Of course, maximum points yesterday and another victory here today.
So, Josh, does that make training optional on Tuesday afternoon? And Thursday, for that matter?
Yeah, well, maybe it does.
Get straight on the plane and meet Benny Bolcom up at Schoolies, I guess.
Probably send a text through tonight. Get those beers on ice. We're coming up.
The red eye.
There'll be a few toolies out there, wouldn't it? If most of this team go to Schoolies. A few of the Webber boys, aren't there, over 30, and Josh Trappel must be nearly up there too.
Looks even older with that moustache. And Ham-Wicks have decided to rest Sam Webber, not requiring him to bowl that final over, which is, I think, is a good idea.
Yeah, I think to be fair, he probably earned that break with that 10 wickets yesterday and the 95 today. It's been a fair weekend for young Sam.
And I think he had to put the stumps in the pitch as well, and pack the kit. Oh, very nice piece of wicket keeping. Matt Webber's third or fourth wicket?
I think that's the third, yeah. The 2 stumpings and the catch, yeah. So, he's bowled well, and as you just said, great wicket keeping again by Mitchell Ray. He's been very impressive with the gloves. And, of course, he normally doesn't play first grade, so normally stuck in second grade behind Ben Balcombe. So, just a good show of what sort of depth they have at Ham-Wicks.
Indeed, for that's exactly right. For a second grade keeper, he's certainly performed admirably. Although having said that, he has played a reasonable amount of first grade over the years as well.
We've got Isaac Wallace sporting his curly mop of hair at the crease. Young leg spinner we saw bolt today.
There's plenty of it, isn't there?
Well, there's a couple of good hairdos in both these sides today, actually. Got Jonathan Agnew chasing the ball for Ham-Wicks, has a fair locks, and of course we have Chris Connors for Charlestown with his blonde surfy do.
I guess I'm out of touch. I get criticised quite often about not being up with the current fashion and the trends. I feel like I've been left behind.
Don't worry, you're not alone there.
Could this be a slow bowler?
Bit of bounce there from change of bowl. Looks like Gibson.
Introduced in the 20th over.
Left arm orthodox. Oh. Well,
I think it's fair to say they've held him back for the pressure over.
Well, that's kind of disappointing, isn't it? It's very, that's a soft dismissal, to be fair. But, so the 20th over with the match well over, it's probably fair assessment of how this game is sort of at the moment. But it's going to be an easy win for Ham-Wicks, and, disappointing finish there for Charlestown. They go to 8 for 137.
And Payne is away.
No run there. Well, we called him back and nearly a run out. Well, we're going to get a run now, finally. Jeez. Well, that probably wasn't good advertisement for cricket, but...
There's probably been better pieces of cricket in the day than that.
I mean, this sort of tends to happen, doesn't it, in these games that get a bit one-sided to death. It's obviously all sides are... the intensity's gone right out of the game. Single there for Wallace. Takes Charlestown to 8 for 141.
And there we have it.
And that's the match. Comfortable win for Ham-Wicks over Charlestown to take maximum points for this weekend. Of course, winning this game by 61 runs was a pretty fair scoreline in the end. I think it was a pretty emphatic victory, really.
That's right, Josh. It's clearly evident that the difference between the two sides was Sam Webber, who batted fantastically for his 95, but he was well supported by Callum Single and Reece Hanlon, and that partnership of 110 in quick time was obviously a telling factor. That said, Charlestown, when you have a look at a par score of 160, were quite competitive, and the leadership of Dane McCourt was fantastic with the bat, and they put up a good fight. But at the end of the day, another Webber come along in Matt Webber and bowled a very tight spell of bowling to ensure that Ham-Wicks secured victory.
Yeah, it's the Webber brothers. I mean, there's no hiding the fact that they've been two of the standout cricketers in Newcastle cricket for a long time now. Just quality with bat and ball, and they've been behind a lot of Ham-Wicks' ascendancy in these last sort of 5 or 6 years. So another good performance by the Webber twins, which led to another great victory for Ham-Wicks by 61 runs over Charlestown. So thanks Murray for coming on today, and thank you everyone at Bar TV and everyone tuning in today through the Newcastle Herald website as well as the Bar TV's YouTube channel. We'll catch you for the next round of the Newcastle District Cricket T20 competition. Bye for now.